realistic, but also stylistic. Both Godard and Truffaut had very different ways of handling it. Where like Truffaut and like 400 Blows, he wanted realism. He wanted you to feel like universal, like it could be anyone, because 400 Blows is loosely based on his life as a child, and that's what he wanted to. While Godard was all about style, but also being set in a real world. It almost had a documentary-like feel. Breathless was important because of that. So it was a movie that had style.
You gotta stop talking. I have to change the reel for the last part of the movie. You gotta stop.
I'll be back later. I got a date. She thinks I'm so cool.
Who's this guy think he is? Clarence Worley from True Romance?
Not since Bonnie and Clyde have two people been so good at being bad. True Romance.
True Romance is a film that stars Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette as lovers who are out on the run with a suitcase full of drugs, with the mob after them, the cops after them, Hollywood after them. It stars Christian Slater, Patricia Arquette, Brad Pitt, and a bunch of other people that, I guess they were popular at one point. One of them was Balky. That's somebody, right? I can't say his name, so we're going to go with Balky. I think it's hilarious that I can say Balky, but I can't say Bronson Pinchot. I just can't do it. It's just not in my word hole with my throat thing. I can't do it. It's a great movie. It's fantastic. It was written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Tony Scott, and I will not make any Tony Scott jokes. So if that's what you're here looking for, you are in the wrong place. I will not make fun of Tony Scott. I'm trying hard not to make fun of Tony Scott. But this movie is basically an updated version of Bonnie and Clyde, but Bonnie and Clyde, Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette, are just way cooler than you would have expected them to be. They meet at a marathon of Sonny Chiba Street Fighter, not to be confused with the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter, and they kind of hit it off from there, and they go out for pie, and they knock boots, as the kids say, and then she reveals to him she's a prostitute who was hired by his boss at the comic shop that he works at. Comic nerd, kung fu movies. No wonder I've been looking for Alabama Worley my whole life. But this movie is one of those weird things because it's a stylized Quentin Tarantino picture. So you have Tony Scott's direction with Tarantino's words. There's an alternate ending on the DVD and Blu-ray that is more in line with what Tarantino wanted, but of course in the early days he didn't get what he wanted. He wrote the stripper Natural Born Killers, and Oliver Stone decided to take that back behind the shed and turn it into a prom night dumpster baby, didn't he? This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's up there. It's high praise for something. I mean, there's up there Citizen Kane and Dawn of the Dead and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and There Will Be Blood, and then you have True Romance. It kind of doesn't fit, but it's also kind of an amazing film. From start to finish, you believe these people are actually in love, and they fall in love fast. And there's little cameos by people here and there. There's Brad Pitt, there's Christopher Walken, there's Dennis Hopper, there's Gary Oldman. I mean, you think it's a talent bomb of talent. And I'm kind of rambling, but you know what? When you really love something, you kind of have to dive in there and just get your hands dirty with it and talk about it and love on it and smother it. I'm okay now, I swear. But if you haven't seen True Romance, or if you haven't even heard of it, please at least Google it and watch the trailer. I think that you'll fall in love with it as much as I do every single time I watch it. It's easy to find somewhere. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Just be sure to check it out. And if you do watch it, let me know what you think in the comments. If you have seen it and you do love it, let me know in the comments what you think below. There's something about this movie I cannot... There's something that grabs me. And it won't let go. Do you want to correspond with me in the back of the movie theater here? Well, go to moviehousewithron.com, hit the contact button, send me an email. I might read it on the air. You might be immortalized on YouTube. Also, if you're a fan of the program, head over to patreon.com/Ron Per T, and maybe a buck a month. It's a little bit of a buck a month. You can help support this program and make it this huge thing. I wanted to use a big word, but I can't think. Because I have to change the reel in this movie, and I've been putting it off. And the 4 people who are in there watching this Spy Who Dumped Me, again, it's still playing. We don't get many movies here. Well, any movies that the owner will let me play. They've been staring at a white screen for the last few minutes, so I have to go change that. But tune in next week where we talk about a film that was nominated by one of the Patreon backers, Mark Shepard. Next week, we talk about the Norm Macdonald, Artie Lang classic, Dirty Work. So tune in, and we'll see you next time. I thought you were on a date. Oh. Started talking about Godard, didn't you?